Pony, and welcome to Bronyville. This is episode 164, recorded tonight on February 28th, 2015. I want to thank you all for joining us. We got a great show for you. Of course, you have me, Alpha. I'm joined once again by Five Iron, Chef Sandy, and the wonderful Scope.
Yeah.
This night, Apple Cider's not with us.
No,
he's not with us
most
of the year either. So.
Yeah, he's gone.
Yeah. Sorry, he was just too much of a loose cannon. I mean,
yeah.
Who would have thought? Yes.
Wow.
Join us this week from the SF Weekly. We have Sherilyn. How's it going, Sherilyn?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
so
you
we're
for
going to be
having
talking. Oh, absolutely. We're going to talk to you about all the cool stuff that you're doing. We're going to talk about one cool things. We're going to talk about ponies because that's what we do here, right?
Yep.
Sure.
All about
why
that
not?
cartoon horse.
Yay.
That's a thing.
All right.
And hey, we've survived another February.
Yes.
Don't jinx it. There's still time.
Oh, yep, that's right.
There's 2
2
hours.
and a half
to
hours.
go.
This February sucked. I don't know about you guys.
It's been a little crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I've been sick like all month.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
The only good part was
Fandom-wise.
the PonyCon. That was about the only good part about February that I could think of.
Yeah, February worked out.
Let's do this.
All right,
What
for
were
the
the
fandom.
best parts of February?
Not yesterday.
Yeah, really.
What happened yesterday?
Leonard Nimoy died.
Oh. Yes,
Oh,
that
God,
is not a good thing, yeah.
No.
Okay, that just seals it how bad February is because it took Leonard Nimoy.
God.
Let's see.
All right.
Took Fred Rogers back in 2003, too.
Oh, man.
God.
I don't want February 27th needs to not exist anymore.
All right,
Just
so
canceled February. We're just going to go from January to March.
they're starting our week off show off on a high note. Yay.
Yes. No, my February was all right. I mean, we had Furry Fiesta on my end, and at my other
That's
con.
Your
It
other
had-
con?
My other con. I'm cheating, except that started this one a long time ago. We had 2,425 people.
Nice.
2,425 people. Raised a bunch of money for Big Cat Sanctuary in Bridgeport, Texas.
Sweet.
I
was going to say, if you're going to have like a
furry,
furry con, it makes sense to do it in the winter seasons.
Yeah.
Instead
yeah.
of dying of heat exhaustion in the summer.
Yeah,
Right.
there's a reason we don't
Africon.
have our con in July. Because, ostensibly we like fursuiters, so if we did it in July, they would just all...
Die.
Although FurCon in San Jose is always on Martin Luther King weekend, and it's always beautiful weather. It's actually practically warm.
Well, that's in California.
Anthrocon in Pittsburgh is like 4th of July.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, but
Uh-oh.
it's in Pennsylvania.
Yeah,
It
sure.
still gets up to like 95 degrees there in July, in August.
That's true.
It's very humid up here.
Yeah.
So besides, all right, do we have any like fandom fire status? Is the fandom on fire right now?
No, it's basically everybody's been on edge. Everybody's been walking around on eggshells waiting for the month to end. And like, is there going to be one big last thing, one big explosion? And there does not seem to have been one.
I think this is it, actually. I think this is the explosion.
We are exploding.
Fandom fire status, gathering kindling.
Exactly.
Yep. Turns out that March is the new February.
Oh no.
Little did we know.
We'll see what has in store for us. What do we have for news?
Oh, let's take a look.
Sandy, you're the resident news pony. What happened this week?
Let's see. BabsCon's released their list of community guests and special
Woo.
guests.
Guess who's on the list?
Yeah, Apple Cider from Bronyville.
Yeah.
Wow. I can't
Yeah.
believe it. I thought he wasn't with us for the rest of the year.
I guess
because he's down at BabsCon.
Yeah, I
he's
guess.
just become BabsCon's resident horse famous whipping boy.
I guess.
You can use our coupon code Bronyville10 and save 10% on your registration. So Sonya will be happy we mentioned that. Yeah, they listed a whole bunch of community guests, like an impressively large amount of people that I guess are just giving little ribbons or whatever. I should probably talk to Sonya and be like, hey, what is the deal here?
You know, it's
so they've-
pretty much like, hey, do you know someone in the pony fandom? Well, they're at BabsCon. I think that's
Yeah.
kind of like the point.
Special guests of Surecop Pones, FimFlam Philosophy, Equestria Daily, and Kira Buckle and Dorina Chan. Community guests, Saber Spark, AC Race Beast, Dusty Cat, Apple Cider, Legends of Equestria, Katie Wayne, Boxy. I love Kim Possible a lot.
Foxy's there?
Yeah.
Ah,
She's out in that area, so it ain't Like it's a real big stretch for her to come. Lachlan
Oh.
O'Neill, the Paper Ponies, Equestria Plush, Everfree Motorsports,
There's what?
Solrak, Silver Eagle, and Chillis. Everfree Motorsports, I guess maybe they get dirt bikes and slap pony decals on them and go off into the woods.
You know what? Rock
Everfree-
on.
Hey, whatever floats your boat. So yeah, there's a big long list, and it's cool to see. Hey, look, our Bronyville logo is actually on a piece of released media that we still matter, guys.
Huzzah!
Oh,
Yay! So that's cool. Also, I'm going to the con as well. They say that I'm going to be announced.
Oh, it's
as
a Forza
guest.
group. That's what it is.
Oh, okay.
That's
I'll
not
also
as
be a
cool.
community guest, but I'm also there representing Nightmare Nights, and I'll also be there representing. I'll be doing a couple panels not related to Nightmare Nights or Bronyville, and but I'm not on staff, so I can just go to the con and enjoy it.
I'll be there, but I won't be community guest.
Eh,
I gotta
it's
get
probably
back
for the best scope.
Yeah, I know.
You can just run around being like, "Looks like them big boys are out again."
Giggity, giggity.
Season 5, episode 100 to feature spoilers.
Redacted. Redacted for being too spoilery.
Yeah, according to whoever did that. Well, the gist
That
of
was
it
me.
is that episode 100 is going to be the long sought after 22 short stories about Ponyville, similar to episode I think 100 of The Simpsons, where they had little vignettes featuring the background characters that they're
Kind of
actually
like the comic where Big Mac goes around town and sees all the
Yeah.
folk doing stuff.
So that's actually pretty exciting. It'll be interesting to see. Now, it's going to be one of those really controversial episodes too, because they're going to be establishing canon personalities for some of these background ponies
Yeah.
that don't have one yet. So people are going to get ultra mad no matter what they do. That will be a week
I
where the
can't
fire
wait.
status is.
I
Have
can't
Have
wait.
you read my fan fiction? Because this is wrong.
I'm
You
gonna
need
I'm
to
gonna
read
go
my
on a
fanfic
stream
and
just to
educate
watch
yourself.
it burn.
Uh,
Lie around Bonbon turn out to be straight and seen guys. That's gonna be like
No.
the
that would be a step too far.
that'd be too much.
Yeah.
I know it'll never happen, but I hold out that they'll get Tenant. Just give me a sentence.
Yeah. I'm
There-
just gonna
Oh,
say
Zeke!
that Pony is not gonna go the Korra route. There is not going to be Korrasami at the end. I'm just gonna guess.
Well, who would the Korra and the Sami be?
Apple Dash.
Applejack and Rarity.
Okay.
Apple Dash. What are you, casual? It's all about Rare Jack all day, every day.
Get on his level. All right, so Game Loft, the wonderful game of ponies.
Oh,
How much money have you spent on it yet?
quite a bit.
I have kept all of my shekels. They have gotten none of them because free-to-play games are Satan.
Kind of feel
So
the
there's
same way.
Princess Twilight's Castle update.
Yeah.
I like that the video they put out has T-Rex flexing and being all and there's a little note, not actual gameplay footage. Well,
No,
thanks.
it's in the Everfree, and he just kind of stands there and you poke him in with like your elements, and then he just goes away for a little bit and then comes back. So far,
Okay.
anyway. However, it is kind of broken because they expanded Canter lot, right? So you can put more down. But when you, for example, if you click on the area to like light it up. Well, once you quit the game and go back in, at least on mine, it gets dark again, and whatever you put in there disappears. So for a while, I had Somber walking around completely homeless. I lost Kogo, Palmel, and Jet Set, so I had to friggin' wipe and reload my entire phone back from a backup to get them back.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh, so I guess in that Pony universe, Sombra is like, all right, well, I guess I'll go and make bread with Snips over here.
Actually, I think I have him in like the new shop for a while, and I can't remember what I had him doing first. But
Is it a crystals? Is it like a jewelry shop?
no, it's one of the new they introduced where you can put like 5 ponies to a shop and stuff. And I put him in there. I think
Wow.
it's like frying pans or something.
He needs to go to a jewelry shop so he can sell their ponies crystals.
However, he's over off in the corner with friggin' like Surrey Polo Mare and everything else because they're
Oh, yeah,
yeah. I put Jet Set over there too. They're like the bad pony club over there.
the jerks.
Yeah, the jerks.
You've been assigned to the latrine.
Yeah, see here. What are they doing? They're selling pans. It's the tableware pavilion. They sell teapots and pans, and right now we've got pans. He's with AK Yearling, Dinky, Aloe, and Lotus on mine.
Wow.
Just
So
Fallout.
fans.
What's the next one?
what's this about?
Fallout Equestria.
Fallout Equestria, the animated series at TaiPonyCon. Now, I have to say that is a really nice poster that they have. It was linked on. It's on off Equestria Daily, so I have to go look it up. Fallout
Yeah.
Equestria animated series,
For
and
the first time ever in Thailand, they are bringing their A game.
a special preview video. Huh. During this show, the special footage, recording video audio from the footage will not be allowed. Well,
From Stable Tech Studios.
Yeah, good luck stopping that.
yeah. Just post-apocalyptic ponies. Just no. I don't like Fallout Equestria. I don't like Fallout, honestly. So
Yeah.
it's
I love
just like
Fallout. I just don't want to do Fallout.
it's just like you got your, chocolate pony with something terrible that's awful.
Yeah.
You don't mix that stuff together.
No, it's very much like
Ponies are not for grimdark.
yeah, it's super grimdark.
Why don't you like Fallout?
There is it.
Just Fallout in itself. I can understand the Fallout
Fallout
Equestria.
is just I don't like crapsack worlds as storytelling.
Perhaps
genre.
backwards.
Yeah, you go and it's on TV tropes. Don't do that. You'll fall in there and be lost forever.
I know. I've done that before.
Basically, Fallout is a world that is just everybody's clinging to the scraps, and there's no hope for recovery, and it's only a matter of clinging on long enough until you eventually die or get murdered.
And if you have enough bottle caps.
Not
Yeah,
enough hats.
it's just
And
Yeah,
Nuka-Cola.
well, you can collect all the hats you want in that game, I'm sure.
No
but
hats, just bottles.
I,
So you don't like it
I'm
'cause
not a
there's no hope?
fan. I'm just gonna say, I
Oh, no.
personally am not a fan.
I've spent
Because the
I've
idea is like
wasted a lot
whatever
of
happens
hours.
during the story doesn't change the end game of what the world is.
Yeah,
Right.
you're
that
only-
makes sense.
Well, I've wasted
You
a
live
lot of
another
hours
day.
walking through the wasteland.
I don't know. I think somebody actually gifted me New Vegas at some point. I don't think I've installed it
Don't
ever.
if you play New Vegas, don't go north right away. Otherwise, you run into Cazadors and they'll just whoop your ass.
Yep, giant mosquitoes. It's not messing
Yeah,
them.
well, giant mosquito hunters, I think.
Oh well, I'll keep
right.
that in mind if I ever bother installing that because I have other video games to play.
So let's talk about this interesting story: the underground pony fandom.
Yes, apparently China has a pony fandom. This is from our good friends over at Horse News, the champions of finding all sorts of weird crap to report about. Our source for all sorts of February news.
So I didn't dive into that article yet because reasons. Why is it underground?
I don't know.
That's
That's just what it says.
a good question, honestly. I mean, it's not something that because their internet's kind of separate, so it's kind of like they're not necessarily connected to the rest of the world's pony fandom. But they've got their own image board, and they sure like their adult material. Holy crap! I got a link over there, and actually I linked off the Horse News article, and yeah, there was just dedicated threads for your pick your main six, and there's a thread about adult material for that character. But yeah, apparently there is a decently large fandom in China. Well, it makes sense because I mean, even if you choose a really small percentile of a given society's population as pony fans, there's 1 point something billion Chinese people. So that number is probably pretty big.
One of them's
Provided
got
they
like
have access
ponies,
to it.
right?
Yeah. And they've there's apparently like fan videos and whatnot. There's
Wait a minute.
some
So, like-
crazy music video that has dudes in wigs and faux coconut bras dancing around Sweet Apple Acres.
That's a Jimmy
It is.
Buffett
It
concert.
is China.
That
It's one of those things where it's like, hey, there's this culture that we don't have a lot of access to. We don't know a lot about their inner workings, and it turns out they like cartoon horses too.
okay? So that right there is fascinating because that's like its own little bubble within. Actually, it's its own little bubble. It's like a parallel universe. They
Yeah.
like the same thing, but they're not attached to all of this mess. That's very interesting, actually. I would.
State-run media.
It's like a control group, and
Well, I watched Rosewater the other night, and
oh, how was that?
I mean, how much can you enjoy a movie watching a dude get tortured? But the overarching story there is fantastic. But that's
Yeah, it's
off
something I
topic.
really wanna see.
Sorry, I digress. $5, YouTube.
Sweet.
The Graham has appeared.
Dun dun dun.
Oh, jeez.
Yay, we have a chatter. Okay, so last bit of
Hey,
news.
Scope, get talking.
No.
Brony.
Last little bit is Michael Dobson is going to BronyCon.
Yay! Who's he
Nobody
again?
wants to do the
It's
Oh, he's that guy.
both
Okay.
biceps.
Yeah, he's bulk biceps
And Napa.
and Nappa
Yeah.
and Starscream and Cobra Commander and and Leonardo from Ninja Turtles and Batman and Batman Black
Starscream
and
from
White.
like the Energon Armada series or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
'Cause-
he's done a lot of stuff,
Yeah. Oh yeah.
and he's just the ridiculously ripped, steroid abusing weightlifter pony. I gotta say, lifting weights with hooves must be really hard because they don't have like a grip surface. If you
They
go one
use,
way or the other, it's gonna fall on your head.
Pegasi used the wings anyway.
Yeah,
You gotta curl. You gotta get him in the wrist.
yeah. Don't think about it too hard.
All right. So what do you say we get on with our interview, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this week we have the wonderfully talented,
Talented.
excuse me,
And talent as well, yes.
Sherilyn.
think so.
How's it going, Sherilyn?
I am very well, thank you.
So now, for those who do not know how, I know you do, like, we were talking before the show, you're doing radio, you're doing writing. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What brings you on tonight?
Well, I am primarily a writer and also a film critic for The Village Voice and for SF Weekly. And one of my little quixotic crusades over the past several years has been to be one of the few people in the media, one of the few critics who actually treats the series with any kind of respect whatsoever. I have attempted to look at it as, the series and the movies as shows that are actually like worth paying attention to, not being distracted by by the fandom, and more particularly the media's obsession with the fandom, but rather what is the show actually about? Why is it so popular?
So try and review MLP like it is a legitimate quote-unquote TV show.
Reviewing it because it is a legitimate.
Well, I know it is, and
Yeah.
but as far as like how other people like looking at it would be,
Precise.
like, hey, here's a real review of a real show because
Mhm.
it is, and here's why you should watch it.
Exactly. And for that matter, for Rainbow Rocks, as near as I can tell, judging from the IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes, I was like the only critic who, like me and someone at someone at the Hollywood Reporter, and like that was it, were the only people who covered it, in the media when it originally came out.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, their review was all about, it's a show for kids. Here's how good it is or bad it is for kids. Whereas I was trying to look at it as like, how is it as a movie? How is it as a work of art? How is it as something that anyone can enjoy?
Right.
So that has been my, my crusade, as I say. And my current big project is that I am writing a nonfiction critical study of the show and of the two movies for McFarland and Company, which is, they call themselves a leading publisher of academic and nonfiction books. And it's going to be an examination of the show. I'm going to be doing like critical analysis of each episodes and looking at the themes and the messages that it does have for people of all ages, and basically trying to treat the show as an actual show that deserves as much respect as anything else.
Okay.
So that is that's what I'm working on right now. That's what all of my February has been, working on the book. I'm about a quarter of the way done, and it's funny how, as in spite of how much I love the show, my God, it's still a lot of work to write about it.
Yeah.
It's exhausting, but it's fulfilling. Anyway, the main reason that I'm here is that for illustrations, the publisher suggested that we use fan art. Because if it's sufficiently stylized, then it falls under the category, this is their theory anyway, it falls under the category of fair use. We can't. Yeah, exactly. It's like, we can't use screenshots. We can't use the official images from the show, but we can use fan art.
Is there a reason they can't use that? I mean, if it's review show, does that make it sort of okay then?
I mean, we can do like mild, like quoting of dialogue and very, very brief quoting of, song lyrics and plot description, and get away with it because it falls under fair use for criticism and commentary. But the actual images from the show are just a whole different ball of wax entirely.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense that getting the rights to that would be a lot harder and a lot more expensive than fan art.
Exactly. So what we would like to do is use, as I say, use fan art for the illustrations. And there's a couple tricky things about it. One, naturally, there's some catches, if you can believe that. And the main one is that there, of course, would be no pay for it.
Mm-hmm.
And mind you, I'm not getting paid for it right now either. I'm not getting an advance for the book. It's like I might get royalties in a couple of years if the book sells.
Ugh.
Yeah. It's a labor of love. It is like purely a labor of love. For example, Scope. Scope has just put up a wonderful image. That's a good start. That's the kind of thing I'm looking for right there.
So everyone should send you their fan work?
Not quite.
I didn't do this. A friend of mine did this.
Don't get me wrong. I would like to have as many people send me as much fan art as is possible, but here's the thing. As I say, there'd be no pay, just, thanks. They get their name below the image. They get credited on the image, and also, effusive thanks in the acknowledgments. But the super tricky part is the illustration. We would need the original. They would have to send me the original, and it would have to be black ink on white paper.
Oh, so no crayons, huh?
Unless it's black crayons, that might theoretically work.
Oh man, I need to get my crayons.
Yeah, this is right here. This is why print is dying, because we can't use crayons. That's the problem right there.
I mean, you're just cutting out half the pony drawing audience.
I got my
is there a reason it has
I got
to be
my
black
line
and white?
whole paper, my crayons.
Well, as a matter of fact, I'm going to read the publisher's precise specifications on that matter. Illustrations must be in black ink on white paper, having strong, consistent lines, and using no color. One gradient of gray shading is usually okay, but not 2 or 3, because they won't be distinguishable on the printed page. Cross-hatching is generally the better approach.
Well, yeah.
We need crisp originals, not second-generation copies.
Interesting.
Also, all your illustrations must fit within the print block of the book page, usually between 4 and 5.5 inches wide, and between 7 and 8.5 inches tall.
That's very precise.
It is indeed very precise.
It is the paper,
And it's a shame, because my original thought was, God, there's so much stuff on DeviantArt that I love. I would love to go on there and contact the artist and say, can I please use this? This is fantastic. And then I looked at the fine print and was like, oh.
You basically need line art.
Exactly.
It's interesting because the show is so colorful to begin with. It's kind of hard to hey, this really vibrant world that we're all fans of. Yeah, turn it to grayscale.
There is a distinct irony there, to be sure.
Yeah.
However, the bright side of it is that though the artist would need to send me their original, they would retain the copyright to the image and would be able to do whatever the heck they want with it. All we would need is the original and the permission to print it. Otherwise, y'all can do whatever you want with it, and it's not like it doesn't become the image does not become the property of the publisher. We just need the original, and then after that, anyone can do whatever they want with their images.
That's cool.
So yeah, if anyone is interested, if they could email me, or either contact me on Twitter or email me at sherilyn@gmail.com, which is just my first name @gmail, because early adopter, yo.
Nice.
Yeah, that would be great. I would love to hear from anyone who.
Wait, what are your doctorate? What do you have a doctorate in?
Fun fact, actually, I just got a master's in library and information sciences.
There's science in that, really?
Well, fun fact, I just snuck in under the wire. They actually, like in my final semester there, changed the name of the program from Library and Information Science to just Information.
I didn't know you could get a doctorate in being a librarian.
Well, in fairness, I'm not that fancy. It's not a doctorate.
Oh.
It is just a master.
So you really know
it's
the
just
Dewey
a
Decimal
master's.
System then?
Dewey Decimal System, I'm a big fan of Dublin Core, and I can talk about Mark 21 for hours. So
That's why I dropped out.
exactly, yeah.
So now, besides writing, you said you also do a podcast as well too. You said, right?
Yes, I have a weekly show that me and some friends do on an internet station here in town, because the internet is focused on San Francisco, called, it's on radiovalencia.fm, and the show is called Nose Hair Lint Gland.
Okay.
That's a lovely image, isn't it? You can't get it out of your mind now, can you? Yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome for that.
I was eating some cheeses, but not anymore.
Oh, you're gonna see those again soon, I'm sure.
Ah.
But yeah,
All
it's
right, so,
it's an experimental show. Let's just put it that way. It's a noisy experimental, throw in the kitchen, everything in the kitchen sink, kind of like cacophony of noise, and it's the kind of thing I love.
That's crazy.
Hey,
So,
whatever works for you.
I'm gonna be sick.
Oh, and there are many. There's I'm the only one who does it, but any given episode will tend to have lots and lots and lots of pony samples. I have like a full soundboard of all my favorite samples, and let's just put this way: Rainbow Dash boos us a lot, and and Pinkie Pie gets bored of us very quickly. So
That sounds like a crazy show, and I know something about being on a crazy show.
oh yeah,
Something like that.
Hey, well, we're honest, right?
Yep.
absolutely. But so yeah, the book hopefully will be called Ponyville Confidential, and I am going to be, if all goes well, turning in the manuscript this September. And
Oh, wow, that's still ways off.
It's still a ways off, but it's also like tomorrow,
Yeah.
So ideally I would get the illustrations by the end of August, so I can get everything organized, because the illustrations have to be sent to me, and then I would put the whole package together to send off to the publisher. So there's still plenty of time, but again, as I say, not much time at all. So all those who are interested in having your pony illustrations in a book, which, see, the great thing about this publisher, guaranteed distribution to like libraries around the world.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah, I mean, their stuff is in like public and academic libraries, and really having my fingers crossed is seeing the book popping up in like citations in like term papers and like scholarly journals and stuff. That's where my fingers are really crossed that this will become
like citation indeed needed. There we go, book. You can be like, my book was cited in these papers.
Exactly, and the publisher told me, we want this to be the definitive study of My Little Pony: Friendship is Magic, and I was like, I can do that. Oh,
no, just for the show, correct?
No, actually, also the scope is the first 4 seasons and both Equestria Girls movies.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so just those, and I'm only
So
considering.
you're not doing like the fandom thing like every other sort of media tries to tap on?
No, I mean, there will be some discussion of that, but mostly in terms of how the media can't get past its fascination with the fandom. I'm going to really look at how the show is not taken seriously because of, the snickering morbid obsession that continues to this day for some reason.
Yeah.
But the main focus is going to be on the actual text of the show, as opposed to, the hoopla surrounding it. And yeah, it's going to be really like a deep tissue analysis of, what's actually on the screen. Which to me, I love the remixes, I love the fan work, but to me it's all about, what actually, everything that happens in the half hour before the Hasbro logo, that is what I am ultimately most interested in. So yeah, it's going to be the first 4 seasons, both the Equestria Girls movies, and I'm going to be using the Elements of Harmony guidebook and the toy line for like name references. I'm going to consider those names to be canonical.
Make sure you get your names right.
I'm already expecting that. I'm going to be getting a lot of nitpicking about the book on that respect. But
Trixie is spelled Trixie, or Trixie, however you want to tell it, and not Trixy.
And thankfully that's one of my OCDs is like I must get the character names right. So I'll get that proper at least.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because that came up a couple weeks ago when the MLP Monopoly game was getting added to like Xbox, and Trixie was spelled Trixy.
Well, it's funny. I actually just noticed the other night. It's funny. A friend of mine who had never seen the show before, he went with me to see Rainbow Rocks last September, purely because he knows I'm a fan of the show. And he was like, "Okay, you know what? If Sherilyn likes it, I'll give it a try. Why not?" And so he went to see Rainbow Rocks, which is not the best place for a newcomer, to enter the show. But he loved it.
Better than the first one.
Absolutely, absolutely. Rainbow Rocks, unironically, was my favorite animated film of last year. And in my top 10 list for the Village Voice Film Critics poll, I put it as my fourth favorite film of the year.
I just watched that again tonight, too.
I personally feel like it really holds up and it justifies the first film's existence.
I like watching reaction videos to it.
The thing is, like, it definitely has some seriously catchy music. It's like when that first opening song starts, it's like, oh god, I'm already hooked.
Yeah, no, the music is just like a quantum. Everything about it is a vast improvement over the first film. And actually, we were talking about the site Topless Robot earlier that I write for. When it came out on video, I did a 4,000 word, deconstruction of the movie. It was based off of the director's commentary on the DVD, but I took that as an excuse to really go in. Here is why Rainbow Rocks is actually the good pony movie we've been waiting for. So anyone who wants to hear my feelings on that should read that article.
So let's talk about Topless Robot because
sure.
So okay, besides having the best name for a website ever,
it's up there. I'll grant you that.
Can anyone think of anything better?
Oh, yeah, good point. Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
work,
exactly.
Doesn't it? Yeah,
it really does. So, what is the Topless? So it sounds like you're writing for everyone at this point, right?
Well,
I mean, how many different irons do you have? Fires do you have irons in at this point?
My main gig is for SF Weekly. I usually, depending on how many are available, I tend to review 2 to 4 movies a week for SF Weekly.
Okay.
Yeah, and for the Village Voice, it's a little dodgier. I'll do like maybe 1 or 2 a month. Though last year I made a point for Rainbow Rocks. I hounded the people at Shout Factory. I was like, I want to review this. Let me know as soon as the screener becomes available.
Yeah.
And also Topless Robot, which is part of the Voice Media Group. It's owned by the same company that owns the Village Voice. And I don't write for Topless Robot as much, but I have written a lot of pony-oriented stuff for them.
Okay.
And yeah, it's just toplessrobot.com, and it's ultimately another nerd culture site, but it's a nerd culture site that I write for, so it's by definition better than the others. So by all means, check it out. Yeah, I mean that's just math right there. That's just science.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
I understand what you're talking about. So that's cool deal. So I guess besides the book and your other writings, is there anything else you wanted to mention or have us touch base on or?
That is mostly it. And the main thing is, again, if I'm looking for illustrations, I am looking for illustrators. Again, people who don't, and it doesn't have to be fancy. It does not have to be something that one spends a lot of time on. And I like the idea of just basic sketches of the characters. Again, like a certain illustration that's sculpted, for example, they can be simple because the less they look exactly like the Hasbro characters, the less likely Hasbro is to give a static about it.
I didn't do this; a friend of mine did.
Well, that's the thing is so we're talking about this because we're talking about doing this show that's this book based on the show and talking about it, how that deals with copyright law as well too. It seems like it's one of those things where you can talk about them without getting in trouble with them, right? I mean,
right, exactly. I mean, that's where fair use comes in. That's what criticism and commentary is all about.
Yeah.
And the tricky part there is because the book is basically the first 1.5 of the book is going to be, as I say, write-ups of every episode, and I'm doing like about 500 word reviews of each episode, which even then that seems like a lot, but usually by the time I'm at about 400 words, I'm like, I could go on for another 800 at this point. I really have a lot to say about every episode. And when I first started showing those to the publisher, their main thing was basically that I needed to make sure to have as little actual plot description as possible, or at least to make sure it's balanced with as much commentary as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like I'm trying to like avoid describing the plot too much, because anyone who's at that point in the book, they're probably going to know that they're probably going to have seen the episode by that point.
Right.
And at that point, plot description is just wasted words.
Exactly. So I do like enough plot description to, allow me to launch into whatever I have to say, like about the episode itself. And
Makes sense.
Yeah, and it's both, exhilarating, and it's like, on the one hand, I'm like, yay, I finally found a publisher for this book. It's finally happening. On the other hand, I'm like, oh, I found a publisher for the book. Now I have to write it. Ooh, that changes things. But yeah, once I actually sit down and do it, it's a lot of fun. And as I say, I'm turning in the manuscript this September, and God's willing, it'll be out by fall of 2016, if all goes well.
Cool.
Yeah, which means it should only be like, 2 seasons behind by that point? I'm not even sure.
Is that another reason why you're leaving out the whole plot episode? Because at that point, it's like ancient history, as far as TV is concerned?
Yes and no. I mean, new people are going to be finding the show all the time. Yeah. And also that this is also where the long tail comes in, particularly for shows in the past 10 years where they hit video almost as soon as they're done airing, is that there's almost not really ancient history at this point. I mean, things that people have as much access to, whatever is going to happen in the 4th season or the 5th season as they're going to have to the 1st season. And people are going to be like, as I say, discovering the show all the time.
Right.
But even then, I mean, here's the thing. When the 5th season starts, whenever that may be, I might not watch it until I'm actually done with the book and I have it turned in, because I really need to keep my focus on, the first 4 seasons and the movies. Because if I start watching the 5th season, that just might, just throw my brain off track. It's like, oh, but I want to write about this, but I can't. It's, oh, this theme is entered, and yeah. It'll be too shiny and it will distract me.
With that strategy, you can just binge the whole thing once you're done.
That is probably what's going to happen, yeah. Which means I'm going to have to avoid the internet, but
Yeah, there's nothing going on. Well, right now, everyone's only talking about Address, so there's really not much to avoid.
Exactly.
Do we want to talk about the... No, I'm kidding.
So it's all science. Let me tell you how science... No, I'm kidding. I can't even begin to understand the science myself.
Everyone's eyes are different.
Exactly.
So, all right. Well, it's been great talking to you and learn about all this stuff too. So we're definitely looking forward to the book, and I hope you can also keep us updated as that comes out as well too. So
I would love that very much. Yes,
absolutely.
Keep you posted.
And now this is great because this is one of those episodes we've done where actually things are moving smoothly and straightforward. Mm-hmm. And it's so far so good. I think this has been our first normal episode since we've done the whole team up. Does it seem that way to anyone else? Or
don't jinx it. Don't
okay. So what do we want to talk about to explode it then? Because things are going good, and that's odd.
Predictions on season 5 starting.
No, wait, Sandy, do you have any emails? I know we were talking about doing it.
Darn it.
Do you have access to that?
I don't. Not at this moment.
Email show next week. Maybe.
Yes, we actually do need to do an email show, so you can email us at bronyville@gmail.com, and we will read it. We do need to compile the various fan emails we've gotten, and we've gotten a few. Not a ton, but a few. And do just an email show where we can just be like, all right, so-and-so from, blah, would like to have us discuss thing.
Get your hair clipped for Ben.
Well, we have a live audience here. I'm sure we could ask them something as far as what we could discuss in this panel. So if there is someone who is listening live who would like to say something as far as hey,
these are all bots.
What do you guys think about this?
These are all bots. I'm padding the numbers.
Okay.
Oh, if we're view botting and only have 34 people watching at this very moment, we're doing it wrong.
Am I? I'm sorry. How do I code
We're
it?
not good at bots.
You are
My
not good at
stream's like way
bots.
behind, so
Oh.
It's all right. But yeah, I think we should probably just do that next week.
What
But yeah, what do we think? I mean, at this point, it's the tail end of February, and we haven't gotten a release date from for this. So people are thinking it could be maybe May or so. It's
Yeah, predictions. Do we expect an announcement in the next 3 or 4 days, maybe?
well, that's the thing, right? I was thinking if they're gonna do it in April, it's gonna be the weekend after BabsCon because reasons.
I said May 9th myself. But
Yeah.
I
But
think
yeah,
it's
that
gonna
was
be
the
on Saturday.
realization that we had. Is like, wait, we haven't gotten a release date or any sort of hint because normally we get it about a month out, and there's nothing, a whole bunch of nothing.
canceled.
Nope. No, Big Jim was right. They had that power outage, and season 5's been delayed
Yep.
to winter 2016. We're just gonna keep hammering that. So
All those
I
drawings
think if
gone.
we put our expectations to we're not gonna get Pony for another year and a half, when it does show up, it'll be like, oh, it came so quickly.
Perspective
Oh, it was
matters
only
so much.
it was only a year and a half as opposed to 2 years.
How
Man,
long,
we already moved on to Care Bears. We don't need.
how long
And
has it?
that'll be right about when my book comes out, so everybody wins.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So,
Welcome to Belly
Good tie-in.
Bros.
Billy Bros. How long has it been actually since the last episode of season 4? I lost count.
It was May 10th of last year.
Oh gosh.
That's why I say May 9th for this year.
So it'll be 364 days.
There we go.
Yeah, because May 10th is a Sunday.
God, it's been a while.
No, we'll have to find some other cartoon to obsess over. I mean, there's some good ones out there right now, but go watch some anime, guys.
Let's just do a Homestar Runner podcast.
Oh yeah, because that's something that,
idea.
if we're gonna talk about something that has an even longer hiatus between actual content than ponies. we're
Somebody
gonna
get
talk
this freaking duck away from me!
about- I watched Homestar Runner back when it was new.
Oh
and
yeah.
Yeah. I
The
was
fact-
there when we first met Allie and Ellie's sister. The good old days.
And Teen Girl Squad.
Oh, that was great.
What's your face? The ugly one!
Rude.
So cool!
It's
Oh,
over.
God.
We're old kids. We are.
Dun, 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 dun. The system is
Light switch rave, guys.
down.
See, at what point does this become just like we're just regurgitating it? They're like, this, you can't do this.
God.
DMCA, no.
Got salad fingers, no.
Ugh.
Oh
Ooh.
God.
No.
Ooh.
Hey
no.
guys, let's go to Newgrounds and watch the newest Shockwave.
Let's just do all.
Flash
Yeah, let's just do all Weeble stuff.
I have to update my plugin.
Just watch Kenya 10 times in a
Or no, let's go with the Badger.
I would kill myself.
Giraffe in my loft or nothing.
Catface. Catface is a good one.
So besides ponies, what are you filling the hiatus with to satisfy your need for?
Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters. And I picked up
Okay, talk
bad
about
property.
Ghostbusters.
I know I'm not going to. It's that.
You want to talk Ghostbusters?
No, I've been playing the game. I got the game on my second playthrough, and I ordered a comic book, and then Scope told me tonight they canceled the comic. So thanks, Scope.
LOL failed. Yeah, you're welcome. I
Yeah.
hope it dash your dreams for the rest of your life.
The comics were
Your dreams
really
got
good.
rainbow dashed.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's
boy.
almost as bad as my Centaur of Attention comment that I made on a video I did.
Oh.
Yeah, the comics are really good, and they kind of stuck to the Ghostbusters aesthetic really really well. Like in the back of each issue, there was like a little thing about the haunting that it's in universe. So it's like writing about the haunting that was featured in the comic issue, and they talk about it and blah blah blah. So it gives like background files on the ghost that they busted for that week.
Tobin Spirit Guide.
Yeah,
Oh
sure.
God, that's a famous one. I love Tobin's Spirit Guide.
Sorry,
It's
continue.
but yeah, they were really good, and there were side stories, and they did a couple of story arcs, the Mass Hysteria arc and the Ghostbusters Across America thing was pretty cool. And yeah,
That-
Graham points out this is now transitioned to Phantom Unlimited.
That reminds
Uh-oh.
me, the Friends Forever
Whoops.
number issue 14 comes out tomorrow for ponies on comic book. So
Which one's that?
Yay.
it's this Luna and Spike one.
Oh,
That seems like an interesting mix.
I really
Who's
need to
writing
go
it?
to my comic shop and pick up my box because I've neglected that for a couple months at this point, and it's going to be like $50
I just
worth
have
of
them all on
comics.
I just have them all on my iPad and stuff. I get them all on iTunes.
Who wrote the Spike and Luna episode?
I forgot. I'll have to look. I don't know. Really don't care, but I'll just look, I guess.
I'm curious, does anyone else watch Wander Over Yonder?
Oh yeah,
I don't have
love it.
cable.
Oh,
so
I've
I
been
don't really
loving
watch
that show
anything right
so
now.
much. I'm just like obsessed with that show right now.
it is an amazing show.
It really, really is. Yeah. Glad to know I'm not the only one who knows it exists.
Dude, more people need to watch that. There's like a couple shows that we've been talking about as far as like Wander Over Yonder needs attention. Like everyone's trying to save Steven Universe as well, and it's like,
Let's just go watch Over the Garden Wall and just be done with it.
and then there's that one. But yeah, yay, Phantom stuff.
And potatoes and molasses.
But yeah, TV wise, I'm actually not doing a lot of current stuff. I've been doing another show that I've been submitting to Desu Daily called 3-Episode Shot. It's basically me and Leatherneck Brony. We watch the first parts of an anime, give our impressions, dig into the background of it a little bit, and I post it up on my YouTube channel. And so I've been going back and watching old anime. It seems like we found our sweet spot around 2002. It seems to be the time the shows we're going back to. I mean, we did Trigun, and then we did Gungrave, which was 2003, and then next we're doing Magical Shopping Arcade of Binabashi, which is a Gainax series that came out in 2002 as well. So it's just like we're watching stuff from just a little bit ago, back when we were, young adults first getting into anime. So we're trying to get people to check out older series that are available for legal streaming online.
Oh.
Let's see here. Friends Forever 14 is written by Jeremy Whitley.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Who?
Then I'm reading that one.
He's
Art
Okay.
by Agnes Garbowska.
he's actually
All
local
resist by
to.
Lauren.
Sorry, Scope. Didn't mean to cut
Oh,
you
you
off.
can continue. I'm just spouting off of what's in the book here.
He's actually local to me and Scope. He's on this side. He's actually like an hour and a half away. He lives in Raleigh, I believe. He's a cool guy. We've had him on a few times. Like him a lot.
All
Yeah.
right, cool.
Cool.
Always support. Oh yeah. So is there anything else we want to talk about, discuss, or anything, or should we move into one cool thing?
Probably
Uh,
one cool thing. Don't let me cut
Yep.
you off though.
I
No,
got
I'd
like
say-
cool things. So.
Do
My
we have
cool
one
thing is questionably cool. It might make your ears bleed though.
Okay.
I'm not going to click it then.
I'm intrigued.
So we're just gonna go into that.
All right, if you go into that,
Go into
I will-
what?
I will link to the chat for everyone as they're talking.
Yep. All right. Well, why don't we just start out with Sherilyn here? What's your cool thing?
My cool thing, and this is a few months out of date by now, I suppose, but I just discovered it myself. A documentary that was actually done by like Xbox last year called Atari Game Over, which investigated the legend of the Atari 2600 ET video game being buried in New Mexico.
Ah.
Yeah. And it turns out, I take that back. That's a spoiler. Watch it and find out. I'm not going to tell you what happened. You'll be shocked, I tell you. Shocked. But there's been a slew of video game documentaries over the past few years, and I've seen pretty much all of them. But this is another, and again, it's kind of about rehabilitating E.T.'s reputation as the, quote, worst game of all time, which, let's face it, it's not good, but it's not the worst.
Yeah, there's worse that have become out modern. I mean, once you figure out the actual history behind that particular game and its development, you kind of have a bit of sympathy for the people that were forced to basically make a game in 3 weeks or something like that.
Yeah, it's like 5 weeks, and it's amazing that it's not entirely successful, but by God, it's the definition of a noble failure. Emphasis on the failure, but noble failure nonetheless.
That's crazy.
All
And
right.
of course, the other cool thing is my radio show. Check it out. Your ears will hurt, I promise.
Oh, good.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
All right. Who's next?
That'd be Alpha.
Okay. So everyone knows I am, a fan of Assassin's Creed. So I actually put this video, which I thought was kind of interesting. Apparently there's this group called Game Theory who try and like do science about games, like if what's realistic or not. And this one
these
is
guys.
this particular one is referring to the Assassin's Creed leap of faith, which is always the thing that people like to make fun of, is the jumping off of tall buildings into haystacks. And they go into the science of being able to do something like that. And it's more so than like, yeah, that would probably kill you jumping that far, but it goes into like the speed of which they fall and how the gravity works and then the way they land and if that's really a smart way to do it versus landing some other way. It's actually pretty interesting. It's kind of funny, and it's like they put a little, way more thought into it than I think anyone would have thought of, but it worked out pretty good. So it was an entertaining thing.
Yeah, I saw a video from these same guys that was the hook shot. The hook shot and the forces relative and what would happen to Link if he actually were to use the hook shot.
Yeah.
It's not pretty.
So yeah, they definitely tear stuff apart. So we like that kind of stuff. And Scope gave me another cool thing, which was a spider. So go look at it.
There's new types of peacock spiders. They're cute little spiders with colorful butts.
And big front eyes because of jumping spiders.
Yes. So they're cutesy.
Yeah.
If you think spiders are cute.
Well, they're like cats.
Kitty.
So my one cool thing this week is really dumb. Like, why would anybody do this? But it's YouTube. Of course somebody's going to do it. It's Mary Poppins Death Metal. It's somebody doing Cookie Monster vocals to Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. And there's two singers, and it's lip synced very well to the actual video from the actual movie. It's really dumb.
That sounds really awesome.
Yeah, and I mean, and it's the growling death metal. So if you can't stand that, we did that.
Okay, I'm watching that.
Yeah, it makes sense now that you think about it, doesn't it? It's like, of course, obviously.
I still like Deathbeak. It's the best death metal out there.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one that's just like
the
a
bird
cursing parrot?
It's just screeching from a freaking parrot. Yeah. They use an African gray parrot too, which is funny.
Oh, they have to get that diversity in. All right, so Scope, what do you got?
Well, the first one I got, it's food related because I'm a fat guy still. And I like spicy stuff, but apparently this burger here in Washington, Iowa or something, it's about 1 million Scoville units, which to be honest isn't the hottest thing in the world, even though he claims it is. But what it is he makes a relish made from jalapenos, habaneros, and serrano peppers. He sears the beef patty, which is infused with cayenne and ghost peppers. Then he adds a good dousing of his hellfire sauce and some grain alcohol, and he lights it on fire.
Oh my god.
That sounds awesome.
When you said Washington, Iowa, I was like, yeah, there's places there's like the same thing. No, it's actual place in Washington,
the
Iowa.
Extreme Smokehouse and Grill.
Oh my god.
But apparently there's a one over in Britain, which is at 9.2 million. Now that is something that's pretty bad. And let's see.
When you don't want to taste anything ever again.
Well, yeah, that's one of those things. Like, I love spicy food. Once it becomes like just like terrible, like I don't enjoy this, that it's over.
Well, that's the thing. Like some spicy foods is like there's guys who just like add like pure capsaicin and extract and stuff like that.
Dumb.
And all it does is it burns, but it doesn't taste good. Like real spicy food, it should be like it'll melt your face, but it should be so delicious you don't want to stop eating it.
Oh man, I've had some good like Thai hot drunken noodles at my local Thai place, and it's friggin' amazing.
Yeah,
it's one of those. I like it. This is hot, but damn, it's good.
That's the best stuff. I could go on about that.
And my second one is something I just saw on EQD, which is apparently a Jean-Claude Van Damme, the green screen in like My Little Pony.
Yeah.
It was I just clicked on Equestria Daily and saw it, and I started laughing as I was watching it.
All right, that might win.
It's just stupid.
This is what the fandom is good at.
Yeah, I'm looking at the video real quick.
Did he actually do this?
No, it's just like
it's basically someone using green screen test footage on him, and
and editing into My Little Pony. It's so dumb.
And
But he's like, was he just doing a green screen thing?
I guess.
Yeah. I mean, he's a kind of God. He's an older dude at this point.
He spin kicks that damn tree instead of bucks it like Applejack. It's amazing.
Yeah,
Slices
go flying.
Slices the cake.
This is amazing.
Truly, this is the winning one cool thing for the week.
It really is.
So 5 Iron, what do you got?
Well,
Yeah, well, I can't top Jean-Claude kicking a tree. Now what I have is there's a channel on YouTube called Crash Course, and a lot of folks probably already know about it, but something that I've gotten into recently because it posts a lot of smart videos, and one I have for you today is a guy named Craig who goes by Wheezy Waiter, talks about politics, and he talks about politics in a way that I can understand because I'm kind of dumb, and I enjoyed it. It was a fun little view. It's one part of like a 6-part series, so it's worth your time to look at.
And if you want more politics, there is a podcast you can turn to for that.
Oh, what's that?
What is it?
Wow, only one? Huh, crazy.
Well, one good one.
Oh, okay.
And that would be mycrazyconservative.uncle.com.
So
I recommend it.
It sounds like we're coming down to the end here.
Yeah.
We are at the wrap-up portion of the stream.
Podcast wrap up. You're still watching Jean-Claude Van Damme, aren't you?
I decided to watch the rest of it.
It's amazing.
You
They
just
did a really good job of like
splicing that in.
the part where he's firing the gun and then Pinkie Pie says, "I can do better," and then starts shooting. It really is genius. I do. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
So yeah.
This is
So,
all
everyone, thanks for
funny
joining
as
us
a
this
damn
week.
cockatoos running around screaming.
All right, so this show, as well as many other fine programs, can be found on Ponyville Live and on Ponyville FM. Episodes are then available for download on iTunes and Stitcher. Show notes are available at BronyShow.com or at BronyvillePodcast.com. You have any questions, comments, concerns, or topics you'd like us to discuss, please make sure to email across to us at bronyville@gmail.com. Remember to use Bronyville 10 when registering for BabsCon for 10% off your registration, because that'd be cool of you, and it helps them out, helps us out, why not, right?
Yeah.
Makes them love us more.
Yeah. Also, make sure to support the show by leaving us your written 5-star review on iTunes or give us a like on Stitcher.
Does it
So,
have to
thank
be
you for that.
5-star?
It needs to be 5-star because we are a
Aw.
5-star type show.
We'd appreciate it.
You got one
We
star
do.
once I came in.
And if you want to be cool, you do it too. And you want to be cool, don't you, kids?
No
yes, you
pressure.
do.
No pressure.
No pressure. Just what all the cool kids are doing.
Yeah. Don't smoke. Just give us a 5-star review.
So, anything else, or
No, I think that's about it.
Yep.
done for the day?
Yep.
Well, everyone, thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, pony on.
Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
Adios.
Bye,
Thanks for having me.
everyone.